And if you are willing to continue the chanting, probably you can, step out and continue the chanting. Otherwise, your chanting will be distracted if the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha is going on parallel to the chanting. So you can choose either one. And now we shall begin. So today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.35. That is canto number 1, chapter number 7, shloka number 35. We'll have a very short kirtan, and then post that we'll begin the class. जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरावन चारी जमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की जय। Hare Krishna, I hope I'm audible. Can one of you please confirm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for confirmation. So we shall proceed now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam तथो जयमुदीरेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So Hare Krishna, shloka number 35, first canto, 1.7.35 is the shloka. I will share my screen. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.35. मैनं पार्थः शीत्रता त्रातुं मैनं पार्थार्षित्रातं ब्रह्मा बन्धुम् इमं जहि ब्रह्मा बन्धुम् इमं जहि यो आस्वा अनागशः सुप्तान् यो आसव अनागशः सुप्तान् अवाधि निशि बालकान्. Word by word meaning. Ma'enam, never unto him. Partha, O Arjuna. Arhasi, ought to. Tratum, give release. Brahma Bandhum, a relative of Brahmana. Imam, him. Chahi, kill. Ya, he who has. Asau, those. Anagashaha, faultless. Shubtan, while sleeping. Avadhit, killed. Nishi, at night. Balakan, the boys. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Lord Shri Krishna said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahmana, Brahma Bandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep." The word Brahma Bandhu is significant. A person who happens to take birth in the family of Brahmana but is not qualified to be called a Brahmana is addressed as the relative of a Brahmana and not as a Brahmana. The son of a high court judge is not virtually a high court judge, but there is no harm in addressing a high court judge's son as relative of the honorable justice. Therefore, as by birth only one does not become a high court judge, so also one does not become a Brahmana simply by birthright, but by acquiring the necessary qualification of Brahmana. As the high court judgeship is a post for the qualified man, so also the post of Brahmana is attainable by qualification only. The Shastra enjoins if good qualifications are seen in a person born in a family other than that of a Brahmana, the qualified man has to be accepted as Brahmana. And similarly, if a person born in the family of a Brahmana is void of Brahminical qualification, then he must be treated as a non-Brahmana, or in better terms, a relative of a Brahmana. Lord Shri Krishna, the supreme authority of all religious principles, the Vedas, has personally pointed out these differences, and he is about to explain the reason for this in the following shloka. Umagyanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कपहातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Hare Krishna. First of all, I thank Chhatrapati Prabhuji to give me this opportunity to share the Srimad Bhagavatam class in this auspicious Brahma Muhurta. And I also want to seek the blessing of all the Vaishnavas who are present here, so that whatever I have learned from all the senior Vaishnavas, I should be able to present it in front of all of you. So here we know a very wonderful pastime is going on. And we see that how Arjuna is chasing Ashwathama, and Lord Krishna is with Arjuna. Of course, Arjuna's overall strength is lying with Krishna. So here we see that Ashwathama is finally caught, and when Ashwathama is caught, it is the instruction of Lord Krishna. He is saying that you should not show any mercy by releasing this relative of Brahmana. And he gives the explanation that because he has killed the innocent boys in their sleep. So a lot of lessons to learn in this series of shlokas which are going on currently. So here in this particular shloka, Prabhupada is giving a lot of stress on who is a Brahmana. Many times we think that we are something, but actually we do not behave as per the standards which is required for the designation for that post. We can understand with the help of very simple example. Suppose there is a CEO of the company, there is a CFO of the company, but they start behaving childish. There are board of directors in a company and they start behaving irresponsibly. So So do you think they will remain as the board of directors, or do you think they will remain as the CEO of the company or CEO, CFO of the company? We all know the answer. It is no. They cannot remain on that designation, on that position, because they are not behaving as per that. It is very simple to understand. In the same manner, we see that when we talk about these four Varanas, so first of all, we need to be very clear what are the four Varanas and what are the four ashramas. Many times people get confused. Four Varnas and ashramas, they mistake each other. And this is happening because we are very, very far away from reading the scriptures. So that is why these are the basics which people miss out. So there are four Varnas and there are four ashramas. And if you see, we have always studied in our books that caste system was very bad, and that is why it was abolished by the Britishers. And there are so many freedom fighters also who took part in abolishing this caste system. But at times we may get surprised that how is this that Krishna has created this caste system, because Krishna is clearly saying Chatur Varna Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashe. He's saying that I have divided this system. But see, this is what happens if you do not follow the guideline properly. It becomes very bad. Like the caste system became very bad, and there was multiple different castes which came into picture and which kept on dividing people, you know. But Krishna did not divide people on the basis of their birth. He's saying clearly, Chaturvarnam Maya System Guna Karma Vibhagashe, based on your gunas and your karmas, your qualities, your qualification, you will be given a designation. And that is why you see here, even though Ashwathama is born of Dronacharya, he's a son of Dronacharya, but still Krishna is saying you should not show any mercy. And here one very important point is that Krishna is addressing Ashwathama as relative of Brahmana. He is not addressing him as a Brahmana. So do you think Ashwathama remains a Brahmana after doing all these activities? I'm sure the answer is no, he doesn't remain. So these are the wonderful examples which are present in the scriptures. And with the help of these examples, we can understand this point very clearly, that what is the qualification of a Brahmana, who can be a Brahmana, a son of Brahmana can never be a Brahmana, or vice versa. So these are the points to understand, and these are the points to remember from the scriptures. So here we see that, it is mentioned, Prabhupada is saying the word Brahma Bandhu is significant. A person who happens to take birth in the family of a Brahmana but is not qualified to be called a Brahmana is addressed as the relative of Brahmana and not as a Brahmana. So I hope this point number one is very clear. Who is a relative of Brahmana and who is a Brahmana? And then Prabhupada is giving very good examples. The son of a high court judge is not virtually a high court judge, but there is no harm in addressing a high court judge's son as a relative of the honorable justice. Just imagine, we heard about Sachin Tendulkar, very great player, and people were mad about him. He was also called as God of cricket. So he had his son, Arjun Tendulkar. Now, Arjun Tendulkar, if he wants to play cricket, and if he wants to become equally popular, then will the name help him? That okay, your father was great cricketer, but you know to play only carom board, but yes, you can be called a cricketer. He will not be called a cricketer because his father was a cricketer because of his skills, and you cannot be a cricketer because if you do not have those skills. So those skills are the ones which are deciding whether you can be a cricketer like your father, whether you can be a judge like if your father is a judge. They can provide you assistance, but yes, until unless you do not have these qualities, you cannot take that position. And the same thing happens with the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So the point to remember here is that in the age of Kali, everybody is Shudra. Prabhupada is saying everybody is Shudra. There is no Brahminical qualification left. Everybody is a Shudra because we're working for others. So that is giving us this designation that we are all Shudras. Now, we read in the scriptures that Brahmanas, above the Brahmanas, there is one class. Can somebody maybe put in the group, maybe put in the chat box, or maybe unmute yourself and mention who are the people who are even greater than Brahmanas? We know four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Who are the one who are even greater than the Brahmanas?
Vaishnavas.
Thank you, Mataji. Which Mataji said this?
Prabhu, it is Vaishyas.
Okay, somebody says Vaishya, somebody says Vaishnavas. So who said Vaishyas? And who said Vaishnavas?
Hare Krishna. I am the one who told Vaishnavas.
Mataji, I'm not able to get the name here. Sonakshi Mataji said Vaishnavas. Okay. Okay, never mind. So Vaishnavas. Now again, this qualification, where Brahmanas losing their qualification because they are not the son of, just becoming the son of a Brahmana doesn't make them a Brahmana. In the same manner, when we talk about Vaishnavas, now this is very important because we think we are Vaishnavas, because we put a tilak, we wear dhoti kurta and we go to the temple every Sunday. Sometimes we miss Sunday feast also, like I missed yesterday. So we may think that, okay, we are the Vaishnavas, but there are various qualities, which a Vaishnava should have. While doing Bhakti Shastri, we understood there are so many qualities, I think around 26 qualities, minimum qualities, which a Vaishnava should have. And those are very, quite grave qualities, quite important qualities. But if we do not have those qualities, then we may not be able to, call ourselves a Vaishnava. There was a very nice book, which was written by Guru Maharaj. I was referring that book recently. The book title is Vaishnava K. Who is a Vaishnava? And Guru Maharaj is very nicely explaining, in depth, taking the references from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's, books. So, like Ashwathama, he lost his qualification as a Brahmana because he did not behave as a Brahmana. In the same manner, we as devotees, we need to be very, very careful in our dealings, in our thinkings, in what we are feeling, what we are thinking, what we are doing, what we are saying. We need to be very careful. Otherwise, we are going to lose our qualification. Like Ashwathama lost his qualification and he was good for nothing after that. So our qualification, our strength is, the guidelines which is given by the acharyas, the guidelines which is given in the scriptures. Then we become Vaishnavas. Sometimes we may proudly call ourselves, oh, Vaishnavas are even greater than Brahmanas. But who is a Vaishnava? You are not even a Vaishnava. Your dealings is worse than a normal human being who is in the platform of Shuddha Sattva. Your dealing is worse than that. Then how can you call yourself a Vaishnava? Just because you go to the temple and you started chanting few rounds, you call yourself a Vaishnava? Yes, of course, the beginning is that. But we have to carefully monitor our dealings. And, this is the way to understand whether I'm progressing in Krishna consciousness or I'm just fooling around with other devotees and fooling others and fooling myself and my family as well. So this is very important to understand that where is my dealing? What am I thinking? Am I always thinking that somebody should come and glorify me? Am I always feeling sad if there are people who are not coming and glorifying me? Am I trying to become the boss of everybody, saying that everybody should come and listen to me only? Am I becoming the deciding factor for everything? These are the things, and not only it is not limited to this. You may be knowing better about yourself, like I know better about myself. So we need to be very careful in understanding the dealings which we are doing with the devotees, what we are thinking. Sometimes when we say, people may correct us, but sometimes we may not say things and it is remaining in our heart, burning ourselves and burning, our Krishna consciousness. So that is more dangerous because you're not saying anything and you're keeping in your heart and you're troubling yourself and troubling others as well. We have to remember that we have given up all the material designations and all promotion opportunities, all great, wonderful things which we were supposed to get in our material life because we wanted to progress in Krishna consciousness. We tried to keep our life very simple, but keeping our life simple and not adhering to the Vaishnava etiquettes is very, very dangerous because you are neither this side nor that side. It was better that if we had just followed the material life and lived a very lavish and posh life, because we are highly educated and we had very good communication skills, wonderful knowledge. So we could have utilized that in the material world. But yes, we, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we understood that this is going to be a waste. It is going to be left as soon as the person quits the body. We saw so many examples, people leaving the body and everything remains as it is. Like I always mention, there is a account which is called unclaimed account balance in the banking industry, and that account has got the most money all the time, because people, they try to save a lot of money, but when they die, the money remains in the account and nobody knows about that money, because they had not told to anybody. They just wanted to keep that money, but see, the money is left. So we, by these examples, we understand that material things is something which is not going to be with us. We need to acquire those things only as it is required. Now, after understanding, we join Krishna consciousness. In the beginning, it is good, but as we are progressing, we start committing so many offenses. We try to become boss here. So it was better we remain boss in the material world than becoming a boss in Krishna consciousness. Our movement is Das Dasanu Das. We need to be the humble servant, and we just don't have to say from our mouth, but we have to abide by it. Otherwise, it is going to be very dangerous. It is going to create a lot of difficulties for us, and offenses. And doing sinful activity is good, but doing offenses is worst. So people who do sinful activities, they may still survive, but people who do offenses, deliberately planning something, and deciding something, troubling somebody, it is very bad, because this is not the purpose of we coming into Krishna consciousness. So I will come back to this point. Ashwathama lost his qualification as a Brahmana. So, like Ashwathama, we also have so many other examples in the scriptures. Can you name some people who lost their qualification as Brahmanas from the scriptures? We will wait for 10 seconds. There are some nice personalities who lost their qualifications. All right. So I will proceed further. So have you heard of Jagai Madhai? So Jagai Madhai, very popular, two handsome hunk of Mayapur, and they used to create so much havoc. Yeah, of course, they don't look handsome to devotees, because they had big, big mustache, big tummy, and very scary faces. They used to kill, murder people like anything. But they were from the Brahminical class. They were the so-called Brahmanas, and they had lost all their qualification, because see, their activities were raping women, killing, murdering people, destroying culture. And the level of Jagai and Madhai was so much that they used to study the scriptures. They used to study the scriptures to know what we should not do, and then they should do the same thing. So just imagine how big offense it is, blaspheming the Vedic version. So they used to read the scriptures, and they used to understand what we should do and what we should not do, and they used to do the opposite of it. What we are supposed to do, they were never doing. What we are not supposed to do, they started doing that. So they lost all their qualification, and they became a havoc in the society. And then later on, see how by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they became surrendered to Lord Chaitanya, and started doing a lot of service towards Krishna consciousness. So it was a comeback for Jagai and Madhai. So Prabhupada is saying nowadays everybody is a Jagai Madhai. We may think that we may show people that I'm doing so and so, but we know in our heart that what is my real standard, how much connection I have with Krishna. Do I remember Krishna anytime during the day? When I'm sitting in the office, when I'm talking politics with other people, am I remembering Krishna? So Amarendra Prabhu says that if a devotee is progressing, then he and she will never participate, not even participate, where somebody is blaspheming a devotee. He will never ever participate. And if this person says, yes, yes, he is bad, or yeah, he is bad, yeah, I know it is like this, even by nodding, the person feels very bad, because he has taken part in that blasphemy. So he doesn't like his such behavior. So we see that Jagai Madhai lost their qualification, and they were in the end, how they had to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya to save their life, and then they came back to Krishna consciousness. So when Shivash Thakur used to go with Nityananda Prabhu to preach, and when they used to meet this personality, so Shivash Thakur used to say, "Oh Nityananda Prabhu, one day you are going to get us killed, because you are making us preach so those people who are behind our lives." So that was the situation. But Nityananda Prabhu used to go and preach. And so Jagai Madhai was one example. We also can take example of Ajamil. Ajamil was also from a Brahmana family. but he lost his qualification because he was attached by a prostitute. Just by one situation where he went to forest to collect the firewood, and he saw this prostitute, having physical relationship with a man, and he became so much attached. He lost all his qualification. He lost all his senses, and he became mad about this prostitute. Now, just imagine, Ajamila was disturbed by one such situation in front of his eyes, one such scene. How many such situations are we able to see, in the current age of Kali? We may not have that proper, strong Brahmanical background as well. And then when we see all these disturbing things, those web series where they use all abusive languages, and those billboards which we see on the, when we go to our office or go to temple, those billboards are there which display the nudity of a woman. How much disturbing can this be for a person? We have our smartphone in our hand, and if we do not use it properly, that smartphone is going to become very dangerous, because we have internet 5G 4G with us, and we have best of the best smartphone. The screen is open in front of your eyes, nobody's watching. How difficult it can it be? So that time Ajamila lost all his qualification just because he was he had seen such situation in front of his eyes. But you see, in the end, Ajamila was also protected by the Lord. When in some sages, they came to his house, and they realized that this person is good for nothing. He has got no other qualification. And at that point of time, those sages, they advised Ajamila that you name your son as Narayana. And just by keeping that name, following the instructions of the sages, at that stage also, Ajamila was delivered in the end. He called his son's name Narayana. So see, the sages knew how to deliver this person. Nityananda Prabhu knew how to deliver the Jagai and Madhai. Okay. So in the end, you see, every time it is the devotees of the Lord who are showing mercy. So those are the devotees. Those are the people who can be called as Vaishnavas. Like we have great example of Narada Maharishi delivering so many fallen souls. We have example of Nityananda Prabhu delivering so many fallen souls. We have example of those sages who delivered Ajamila. We have examples of Ambarish Maharaj, you know, who was engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. So those are our role models. And in the current day also, we have so many role models. We need to be very closely connected with them. We have Srila Prabhupada, we have Guru Maharaj. So if we do not read about them, then we are not doing justice. We have Prabhupada Leela Amrita. Before initiation, we must read that. Then we have so many books written by our Guru Maharaj. Then after that, we have new set of devotees, the young youth generation. We have Amrendra Das Prabhu, wonderful preacher. We have Amog Leela Das Prabhu. We have so many wonderful devotees. We have Nitai Sevani Mataji. We have Jagasakshi Prabhu. We have Shivash Prabhuji. So many people are there whom we can make our role model. We can take a lot of pictures for them. We can follow them and then gain those qualities. And when we do this, we are going to safeguard ourselves from this onslaughts of Maya, which is there. And I will make the last point. So many times we think that, okay, I am doing all this because of Maya, and Maya is troubling me, Maya is holding me. But Amarendra Das Prabhu says that no, it is not Maya, it is you who is holding Maya. Maya can do nothing for a devotee, because Maya is subordinate to Krishna. And if you are taking the name of Krishna properly, if you're chanting properly, then Maya can do nothing to you. But the problem is, we do not want to do any hard work. We do not want to put any effort in Krishna consciousness, and we think, oh, it is Maya. So Amrendra Das Prabhu gives an example. He says that it is like you holding a tree very tightly and shouting, oh, this tree is holding me, this tree is holding me, this tree is holding me. The tree is not holding you. It is you who is holding the tree. It is us who is holding the Maya. Maya is not holding us, because we are not following the instructions which are given. We are not even giving proper 2 hours in our chanting. We are multitasking when we are chanting. It's very dangerous. We have to give a lot of importance to our chanting. Otherwise, our chanting is gone, so everything is gone. Amog Leela Das Prabhu says that the moment somebody is not careful about their japa, the downfall has already happened. It is only the details which is going to come in few months, but the downfall has already done because the person was not careful. He is taken the japa very lightly, very casually. So when we are chanting, it is said Kirtanaya Sadahari. So Kirtanaya Sadahari does not mean that you do your 16 rounds in your in your 24 hours, like on your counter, while walking, while eating, while sitting, while talking. That is not Kirtanaya Sadahari. That those are offenses. But yes, if you are doing your 16 rounds properly in the Brahma Muhurta or as per your shift, whatever time you get, in front of Tulsi Maharani or sitting in front of the altar, praying to Krishna. Krishna is Bhavagrahi. If you're praying to Krishna and doing your 16 rounds, then apart from that, additionally, whatever you're doing in your 24 hours, that is fine, but not your regular chanting. Prabhupada said proper 16 rounds of chanting and following 4 regulatory principles and eating prasadam will take you back to Goloka. But Prabhupada did not say that just finish your 16 rounds somehow, walking here, there, talking here, there, counting, and this just by driving all those things, and say that, oh, you are chanting. You are not chanting 16 rounds. So Krishna is Bhavagrahi. He becomes attached and he become attracted if we are chanting with bhava, with the praying to Krishna. And if we are trying to seek the glorification for ourselves, our condition is going to be very bad. I have one example of Bhimsen, and with this I will end. I think it will take another 2-3 minutes. So once Bhima, he said, he thought Arjuna is getting glorified all the time because Arjuna is a great singer and he has been invited everywhere because he is a great singer, he is a great dancer. And to me, that is to Bhimsen, they invite only to do big tasks. Like if they have to move a mountain, they invite Bhimsen. If they have to kill a demon, they invite Bhimsen. So all these big difficult tasks, they invite Bhimsen. But all these nice tasks where so many people are coming and watching Arjuna singing nicely and glorifying Arjuna is invited. So Bhima thought, I will also start singing because I want to get glorified. And the point to catch here is that, Bhima is trying to imitate Arjuna. It is not the quality of Bhima. We can please Krishna with whatever quality we have. We may not be a great preacher, great orator of Bhagavatam, but yes, we may be a sincere Vaishnava who is very good in explaining how to offer bhoga, how to establish relationship with the Lord. So we can excel in that. Need not that, we need to copy somebody who is doing very good. We have to see what is our strength and act accordingly. So Bhimsen wanted to become a singer. So what he did, he sat in the entrance of the city, and he started singing sitting there. So the problem was when Bhimsen was singing, his voice was so rough that all the palaces and everywhere, wherever the glass windows are there, those glass windows used to break because Bhimsen is singing in such heavy voice. And everybody was scared to go and tell Bhimsen, please don't sing, you do not have this quality. But nobody had the guts to go and speak to Bhima because he was very powerful. So that point of time, Draupadi comes and she says, Bhimsen, you are singing here. Why don't you go to the forest and sing? Because here people may disturb you. So somehow she pushed Bhimsen in the forest. And now Bhimsen started singing in the forest. Now the trouble was there for the animals of the forest. Because when Bhimsen was singing, all the animals were running away. So one person came near Bhimsen and he said, oh, Bhima, you are singing. So Bhimsen became very happy. Oh, at least one person came to appreciate me. So he said, yes, I am only singing. And I'm thankful that you have come here to appreciate. So that person says, no, actually, I did not come here to appreciate. I want to say something, but promise me that you are not going to kill me. So Bhimsen said, no, don't worry. I will not do anything. You please tell me what is there in your mind. So this person said, he very clearly said, Bhimsen, I lost my donkey because my donkey was lost in the forest. And when you were singing, your sound was similar to my donkey. So I thought I have got my donkey. So when Bhimsen heard this, he realized his true potential and he came back and he understood that, okay, this is not his strength. And then when he was in the next pastime, when he was praying to Krishna and, because he forgot to invite Krishna as per the instructions of Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was praying Krishna, he was weeping for Krishna. Krishna, please come because I forgot to call you. I missed the service. So when he opens the door, Krishna was right in front, standing, for him. So the point is, Krishna is Bhavagrahi. If we do our chanting with proper bhava, Even Krishna is going to be merciful to us. But if we are only seeking glorification, we become a donkey, like it happened to the great, personality like Bhimsen as well. So who we are in front of him. So I will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai. If I have committed any mistakes, you are free to correct. And if you have any questions also, you are free to ask. Hare Krishna.